So I know the last video I filmed was in a puffer jacket, and now I'm in a tank top. It's just the world we live in now. Get on board. Yeah, I realized that my last video was quite negative, and I just wanted to clarify that I definitely do want the pandemic to end, in case that needed clarifying. I hope I made it clear that I was talking about the relationship between mental health and the pandemic and how I felt about that. And also to say that, yeah, I just want to restate that I know that life is really beautiful. It's just when you have depression or when you find yourself in life circumstances that are not ideal, sometimes it can seem like so frustrating that there's so much beauty in the world and there's so much to experience and there's so much cool stuff to be doing, but you for some reason can't access those things. So in that spirit, I also wanted to talk about the content that has been getting me through the past year specifically. So firstly, I can't fail to mention the Ballingers. This is a random family in the US that has almost single-handedly gotten me through the pandemic. Okay, that sounds bad to my own family. They've also gotten me through, but I watched Colleen for ages, and I watched her pregnancy videos, and she's been vlogging from March last year almost every day of the pandemic. So it kind of actually became my morning routine to put her vlog on. And I know, you know, that's not like a fucking mindful, you know, morning routine, but it like whatever works at this point. And there was something so comforting about the regularness, like the certainty that the vlog would come, even though every day the news was crazy and, you know, there were big changes every day. So I literally owe her. And you know, she was always talking about her brother who had 5 kids, who also had a vlog channel, and I was always kind of like, it's like, seems like a big like family kiddie channel. It's probably not the content for me. That's not gonna be intellectually stimulating. Well, guess what? I am obsessed with their channel. It's just this couple, and they have 5 kids, but they have the most adorable family. And again, there was something so nice about the continuity. It's so healing to see people be really good parents. Like, if you grew up maybe not in the best circumstances, or you feel you didn't have the best experience in childhood, I really recommend watching the Ballinger family, because I feel like those people were just like meant to have kids. They're so curious about their own children, and they let them just like completely express themselves.
I don't know.
Well,
I think it was something also about like 2 of my nephews were born in 2020, and I still haven't met them, and I was really bummed about that because I was always the youngest person in my family, and I was so excited that they were like little kids and that I could finally, like, I've never been around kids growing up, and I really was excited to like have my first experience around babies and like children and see, you know, whether they like me. Oh yeah, secondly, Lena Normz channel, she made such great content in 2020.
Escapism.
She's like the friggin' lovable bookworm and that every kid should have, including me. I'm calling myself a kid, but I'm like closer to her age. She really brightened up so many of my days, and she's so funny and makes really original content, which I think is commendable. You can tell that she's like really authentic and just like has ideas out of her own brain. I discovered a channel a few months ago maybe. It's called Truthless. It's this guy who makes creativity videos. He's an illustrator, so he would do a lot of these videos like drawing blah blah in 9 styles, like drawing Homer Simpson in 9 styles, drawing you know, suddenly I can't think of anything, but those videos are super fun to watch, and he's so talented.
huh. You can't unsay any of these homers.
Then he transitioned a bit into making sort of self-development content, and his video on self-sabotage was so good. And I don't know, they're just really aesthetic, but also the pacing is so good, and his storytelling is really good, and his art style is really cool, and you can tell he has like a real aesthetic. And I just, again, like binged all of his videos, and I got really inspired to make content as well, and to you know, it was nice to see that he also doubted himself, and he talks about that, and I look at him and I'm like, oh my god, I wish I could make content like that. And to still see him be vulnerable and say like he doesn't feel good enough, he self-sabotages and all that stuff was really interesting for me. Another shout out I gotta give is to video podcasts. I mean, I know the whole world is a podcast now, but especially tillnine, which is with like an OG YouTuber, Laura DIY, who I never really watched, to be honest, but I mean, I wasn't aware of her mythology, let's say, but she made a podcast with her boyfriend Jeremy, and I love their dynamic.
I just feel as if we've all come together as a Grey Sweatpant Ween community.
Lauren struggles with emetophobia as well, and they did a bunch of episodes on like mental health. She also has anxiety, so I really identify with her, and I'm so happy she's like talking about her experiences. And actually I had a night in maybe November when I got food poisoning, and I just knew I was gonna be sick, and I was up the whole night, and I just literally had all their podcast playlist playing, and it felt like they were like accompanying me through it. And something about like Lauren's presence and the fact there was like another emetophobe in the room made me have like quite like not as panicky a situation as I would normally have. And lastly, the infamous frenemies podcast has definitely taken my mind off things. If you don't know what that is, I think I would need to give a whole backstory about the history of YouTube to really truly understand what the Frenemies podcast is. But if you're interested, it has Trisha Paytas,
Thank you.
and Ethan Klein as the hosts, and they came together in like a weird string of circumstances where Trisha started dating Ethan's brother-in-law, and so first they were gonna make a podcast together, but in the end they ended up being family, and yeah, it's cool. And they've been covering the recent David Dobrik drama, and not to say that, you know, that's been entertaining, but it's like it's taken my mind off of other things, and it's been interesting to follow that whole thing, because, you know, I used to watch David Dobrik, and now it's like all blowing up. So I've been following that story closely and hoping that, you know, everybody gets justice and all that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there, look up David Dobrik, dumb allegations. And finally, actually, in the last couple weeks probably, something came in my recommended. It's this guy called Heinz. Heinz is this Rastafarian spiritual teacher vibe.
It's a vibe thing.
Dude. He pretty much just makes sit-down videos, kind of pensive / Pisces, like self-reflection / affirmation / morning motivation kind of things. So he's been really getting me through the day. His videos are really aesthetic as well. That's it. Those are the people getting me through. If you're looking for content, I hope one of those recommendations helps you. And see you later. Bye.